we both know perfectly well is that this Conservative government is not going to give all public sector workers, and Mark Sawatka said it has to be everybody in the public sector, a 5% pay increase. They're just not going to do it. There is going to be a lot of argument and a lot of dispute this winter over that issue. What we also know, of course, is the government have changed the law so that you have to have a 50% threshold to have a strike on these matters. Do you agree with Len McCluskey that in this circumstance trade unions should defy that law and go on strike anyway?
Trade unions represent their members. Trade unions are there to negotiate on behalf of their members, and they will be making protest actions and many other things over the winter. So instead of turning the blame on unions that represent their members, why can't we instead look at the way in which this government has exploited public sector workers over the past 7 years?
I'm not putting the blame on anybody. I'm just asking you whether you agree with Len.
You're putting the whole emphasis on the unions who are representing their members rather than the government, which is the cause of this problem.
The unions are in a very difficult place because of this new law. I mean, Len McCluskey has made this very, very clear. Let me read you what he says.
Well, this new law is something that is really unfair on the 50% rule. No MP, or very few MPs, get more than 50% of their electorate voting for them. Indeed, I think I'm one of the very few who has had that.
And would you defy it? Len McCluskey says, I don't know if I'm going to jail. The reality is that the law is wrong and it has to be resisted. I dare say if you'd been interviewing Nelson Mandela or Mahatma Gandhi or the suffragettes, you'd be telling them they were breaking the law. The truth is, when a law is wrong, not only is it important to stand up and say so, it is our duty to resist. Do you agree with him?
The point Len is making is that when governments try to control what unions can do, they get into a mess. The Heath government got into a mess, the Thatcher government got into a mess.
Do you agree with him that it is the duty of socialists and the duty of trade unionists to defy this law?
Andrew, your rights and my rights came because of protests historically in this country. You and I fully understand that.
I agree with that.
I suggest the way to deal with this now is for the government to recognise their problems they have created by making public sector workers pay the price of the chaos created by the bankers.
What has happened to Jeremy Corbyn that you can't answer my question?
What's happened to Jeremy Corbyn is he's the leader of the party and determined to lead this party and this country in the direction of social justice and equality and repeal.
You're the straight talker. This is an absolutely crucial issue for trade unions up and down the country.
It's a crucial issue. I'm supporting those people that are demanding a decent public sector pay rise. I'm supporting those people in making that demand, and I'm saying a Labour government will repeal this Trade Union Act and bring in fairness and justice at the workplace.
There are going to be disputes this winter. There are going to be almost certainly strikes. There are going to be picket lines. Will you be standing there or not?
I will be supporting those workers in getting a decent pay rise.
Even if they're going on strike against this law?
I will be supporting those workers in getting a decent pay rise.